are getting it. We are doing Jewels from One Block 3-Yard Quilts. Didn't even know it was called One Block 3-Yard Quilts. I don't know what I thought this book was called. I gotta do better. All right, so, and that explains a lot, because people kept saying, well, what are you gonna do for your one block? I don't know. Now I know. All right, it's happening. We are doing the Jewels pattern, which is this one right here. It was the most requested. The second most requested was Evening Stroll, and Fran herself requested that I do Synergy. And so that's happening. So we're going to do 3 out of 8, which feels right, because by the time I finish this, another book will probably be coming out, because they just pop them out like that. So let's get to going. This, of course, is going to be our focus fabric. I need to look at it and I'll tell you which one is going to be which. I just want to hurry up and get this done. So someone said that they were watching one of my videos and my nail polish changed. I am not somebody who feels like I need to have a video that looks like it's all done in one day. I don't even understand why we're going to pretend that that happens. Quilts take time. So I'm starting this. I'm going to cut this tonight. I'm going to sew it up tomorrow, and I'll probably, looking at the pattern, it'll probably take me 2 days to sew it. So I'm thinking 3 days total. You might get this on Friday, depends upon whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, but just don't think that I'm doing quilts in a day. There are some that I can do in a day. This ain't one of them. Cutting this one tonight. This looks like this is going to be my fabric number 1. This is going to be my fabric number 2. And this is going to be my fabric number 3. I might switch the 2 and the 3. And the reason why I'm thinking about switching it is because I think I'd love for this to be the bigger border. I'd love to punch it a little bit. So, yep, we're switching. Since it's one block, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. This is going to be fabric 2. And this lighter one is going to be fabric 3. Just because of where the borders are. All right, let's do it. I can show you the border. I want that color right there, that cream color, to be the gold. I want the gold to be punchy. I want to see more of it. So we're going with that. And then this one here, there will be less of this. And I'm okay with that. All right, let's make it happen. For this one, it looks like there's going to be a lot of subcutting. So I'm going to grab my first strip. And I am not power cutting. Power cutting would be if I were to fold this fabric in half and then cut 2 at a time. But you guys know I like to cut. So, and I also, that can get away from me sometimes. So I am cutting my 2 strips here. And then we are going to do some subcutting. And I'm going to take off this selvage. This is a Moda fabric. It's in their desert, I think it's called Desert Sand or Desert Island collection. It was beautiful. If you want to see more of it, check out that live video of me doing a fabric pull. Apparently, it's doing very well for my channel. I'm like, what on earth? You guys like that? I can't believe that you guys like watching me pull fabric. That's kind of amazing. All right, so we're going to do some subcutting. I've just cut this strip out. And I'm going to get what I need here. And we are going to subcut. And I'm going to keep doing that until I have the number of squares that I need. You know what? Let's be fun. And let's actually mark this. So the very first cut that I did for fabric 1, all of these squares are marked for the half square triangle assembly number 1. I'm going to actually mark this, which I don't often do. But because there are so many of the same shape, I just think it'll be a great way to keep this organized. So let's do that. We have all these expensive little things. Why don't we just go on ahead and use them? So I see number 2 right here. I just need to find a number 1. And these are by, I think these are by the Gypsy. Purple Gypsy. Is it Purple Gypsy? They're expensive. Catch these on a sale, guys. Don't ever pay full price for them because they are so expensive. But I'm just going to put a 1 through these here and set them to the side. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the number 2s. So we're just going to set those to the side, and then the number 2s are going to be the same because it's a lot of half square triangles you'll see as we put them together, which is the 3-yard quilt way. So not a problem. All right, now we have all of our squares for the half square triangle number 2. So we'll move that in a different area. We will do the 1s and the 2s. Keep those separate. And what do they want from the rest of this? So I pulled out all of the little pins that I'm going to need. And I've subcut these, and they're the same. They just, there's a different quantity. That's not true. They're the same. That's A and that's B. But I think this is going to work out. And if you don't have these pins, don't worry. Just grab some Post-its or a piece of paper and wonder clip it or pin it. Do something. Do something just to mark these. I think it's going to make it easier for us as far as like counting how many half square triangles we have for each thing. So this is what we have left over. I really want to start showing you guys what's left over from fabrics because I think you need to know. So not a whole bunch, but a little bit, because somebody can do something with all of this, or somebody doesn't have quite a full yard and they're like, can I make it? All right, this is going in the scrap pile for me. So I'm going to find the 2. So this is the number 2 fabric, half square triangle assembly 2. These are all going to be married to these. And we're going to put these with these, and we'll do some clippies or something because that's a lot to just be. There we go. Stick them all together. Let's keep cutting. So we've got our border strips, and we have our leftover. This is what we have left over for fabric number 2, and the other stuff are just squares in various quantities for our half square triangles. So for fabric number 3, I always have a lot more left than you will because I very seldom cut my binding. I don't love economy binding, but if you're in a pinch and that's what you need to do, use your 3 yards, you will definitely have enough for that, and just a little bit left over. Nothing major left over from this one. All right, we are going to start putting it together. So I am grabbing number 1, and on the back of all of the number 1 fabric, I'm going to draw a diagonal line and then sew a very scant line on either side. I will not be taking a full 1/4 inch. So this is just me drawing a diagonal line down the center. Then I'm going to grab the back square. Come on. And we'll put them right sides together. And I'm going to sew a scant on either side. I am ecstatic. I thought I had lost my slotted trimmers, and then I remembered, well, how far could it be? The place in here is super tiny. Everything's in here with me. I found them, and this one, the A and the B here, the trimmer A and B, actually are the size that I need. So I finally get to use this, which you guys have been telling me to do this forever. And I'm actually excited because I want to press all of this open. I don't even want to bother with pressing it to the side and then having to press it open later. And so this will let me do that and trim this to the size that I need without, you know, pressing it to the side and then figuring it out. So I'm going to finally use these slotted trimmers. So we've just finished sewing a scant quarter on either side, right? Now we're going to cut this apart straight down the center on the line that we drew. Now I have two triangles. So for this here, I could peel this paper off, but whatever. It's got a little sticky stuff on there, but I think we'll be okay. It says to take the untrimmed, unpressed, I'm going to call it the raw triangle, and just put the dashed line on the sewn line. And we're going to trim it. And we're going to trim it again. And then I'm supposed to be able to trim in these little slots, but now I'm a chicken to get what I need. All right. Okay, it's stuck. All right, so that's what it looks like. And now we've got to press it open. Or yeah, we're going to press it open. So usually I use my wool mat, but you guys freak out about that. And I get it, because it will warp my mat. What is my favorite pressing tool? I don't see it. Here it is. And we're just going to open this puppy up. It looks good. And I'm pressing it open. That is faster than my block lock. It is absolutely faster. Huh. Well, isn't that nice and convenient? Okay, I'm going to play with this slotted trimmer just a little bit more, and I'll let you know if I love it. Okay, so we finished our number 1 blocks, so we can put those to the side. And now we're going to grab everything we need for our half square assembly number 2. We're going to do the exact same thing. We are going to draw a line down the center of fabric number 1 and sew a scant 1/4 inch on either side. Right sides together, and we'll do a scant 1/4 on either side of the line the exact same way. We're just going to do that for half square triangle assembly 2, which is in the number 1 and the number 2 colorway, and then we'll do it again for the third half square triangle. I believe that's in the number 3 and the number 2 colorway. I'll show you. So we've just finished the second half square triangles. I chain pieced mine just because it's so much faster, and I will cut those all apart, but I kind of like leaving them like this because they're all together. I'm going to keep using this trimmer because it's fun and it's fast, and we're just going to trim this up to the proper size. And we're going to take off these little corners here. And I will have to do that to all of those half square triangles. Then we are just going to press it open. Nothing new. Same thing, just a different colorway, that's all. This colorway is going to be a little different. And then this last set will be, like I said, the 3 and no, the 1 and the 2. No, this last set will be the 1, fabric 1, and the fabric 3. And there are a lot fewer of these than all the rest. I think there's only a few of these. I just confused myself so badly. This is fabric number 2. This is fabric number 3. And there are just a few of them. Be careful. Just be careful and make sure that you're labeling properly, because that one got away from me. So I'm going to show you how I chain piece. I'm going to draw a diagonal line from corner to corner on either one of these squares. It doesn't matter, but you only need to do it on one. On all of the squares. So again, this is just kind of like a power move just to cut time. All of the number 2 fabric has lines on them, nothing on the fabric number 3. Let's go to the sewing machine. We're going to sew. We're going to just start chain stitching. I'll show you how it goes. Just really quick on chain stitching. I am going to grab a fabric number 2 and actually that's a 3. Goodness gracious. We're going to grab a stone and a yellow. And this is a scant foot, so I'm good. And I'm just going to sew really quickly down the side. Now, without breaking the thread, you take a couple of stitches in between, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm not stopping, I'm not trimming, I'm just going to place this one on top of the other. I'm going to butt it up against that scant foot, and we're going to go again. Let's do it one more time. We're not breaking the thread. We're just going to butt it up against that foot and let it just grab the fabric. And you see I'm sewing to the right of this line. I'm just trying to keep this line right here lined up with that foot the best I can. It jumps a little bit because of the way that I hold it, but we're going to keep doing that until we've done all 6. And we're coming to the end of our last one. We're going to sew off, going ahead and use your thread cutter or however you want to do it. Now, you see these? This has been sewn, great. All I'm going to do is take this whole chain, the whole thing, and this last one, I'm just going to put it in here and flip it around. So the sewn stitches are on the left-hand side. We're going to do the exact same thing. And they're just hanging down on the floor. If it's super heavy, you might want to put it up on your table or whatnot, but we're going to just do the exact same thing. Perfect. And now we're just going to keep going. Just make sure if it's flipped over, just flip it over the way it's supposed to go. Butt it up against this machine. We're going to just keep going. Flip it over. Make sure it's where you can get it. And just keep doing that. And that is how I chain piece and get this. And that did not take hardly any time at all. Now I'm going to take this thread cutter and you just split them. Matter of fact, between chain piecing and this trimmer, this slotted trimmer here, I tell you, things are moving quite quickly. Same thing as before, slice it down the middle, square it up, and then we will have our third half square triangle that we need for our one block. I'm going to go on ahead and trim some of these up, and then we'll start on what our blocks are going to look like. All right, so this is going to be our first block. Let's go through it. You've got your half square triangle 1. You've got your focus fabric, a full focus fabric, and a focus fabric in number 2 right here, right? You've got your solid. You've got your 2 and your 3 right here in the center. You've got another solid. Then you have an identical square right here, and it's laid in an identical way. Then you have these guys here, which are just 2 squares that, you know, have been sized appropriately. The way we're going to sew this together is we're going to sew this column together first, this column together, this column together, and then we'll put them all together. Okay? So I don't know how your brain works, but go on ahead and figure out what method is going to make this so that you don't get all turned around. What I usually do is just stack them, and that way I just know. Otherwise, from moving from here to right here, the sewing machine is one step to the right. I will get all turned around and the craziness and things. So I'm just going to start sewing this column together first. So all 3 columns have been sewn together. Now I'm going to press them all open. Well, I don't need to do that. Well, I don't know where this is all gonna go. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna press them all open for good measure, because I don't want to have to be trying to figure out what this is gonna match up to and all the things. So let's just press all the seams open and we'll go from there. My preference is to press seams to a direction. Oh, really? To a direction, but that does not always work out. Open seams will work out every time, and we've got a lot of bulk coming in right here. So let's just press it open. If you guys ever wondered how long it takes for these Panasonic irons to get hot, you just watched me click it, and then by the time I was ready to start sewing, it was ready to go. You just saw that live. People always say, yeah, but it cuts off. So yeah, it cuts off. But I'm also the person who could absolutely burn down her house. Absolutely. Oh, totally. I will walk away. I will forget. So the automatic shut off really is, honestly, it's a necessity for me. I've met myself before. No sense in me even kidding myself. So now all of our columns are sewn together. Now we just need to sew them all together. I'm going to plop a couple of pins in for good measure, and then I'll show you what the finished block looks like. So I just pulled the pins, and we're looking like we've got some good points that are meeting up and whatnot. So once again, oh, I got one. I'm going to press all these things open, because I know that there's probably going to be a lot of meeting with this guy. Yep, yes, I did just cut that. That happens. I'm sure it happens to you guys, and you guys are like, what to do? I just cut mine and flip it right back and move on with my life. So I'm gonna open these up, and then I'll show you the finished block, and then I'll show you what the other colorway looks like. Okay, so everything has been pressed, and this is what the first colorway is going to look like. I love the way this is coming together. It's weird, but I can see the shape here, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. So let me go on ahead and pull out all the pieces for the second colorway, and then I'm going to go live and sew with everybody And then I will come back and put the borders on, and we will stick a fork in this. So here we are. This is what the other block is going to look like. We've got the 1 and the 2. Then we have the 2 and the 1. So you flip these two, but the same block. You've got a solid 1, a solid 2, another solid 1. You've got a gold bar right here, which is your number 2 bar. Then you have the 1 and the 2 again. So these 3 in the corners for this particular colorway. So it's the same block, it's just a different colorway. 3-yard quilts are the queens, the queen quiltresses of making one block look like it's a whole bunch happening and a whole bunch different, but it's really not. So going ahead and lay these out, and we're going to do them the same way, column, 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 and then sew it all together. And then these blocks just stacked side by side in different configurations, sort of, will give us, will give us what we want. I want to just show you lay out the first row and how we're going to do it. We have these separated into A and B piles. That's the important part. And the first one is going to go just like this. We're going to have this part like this. This one here, we're going to rotate it so that they meet down here. And we've got the blue just shooting out. We've got our fabric number 3 right here in opposite corners, okay? Now we're going to finish this by flipping it around like this. Yep, here we go. We've got our fabric number 3 right here. We've got our yellows coming together. So now we've got this blue going in a zigzag. And now we need to finish this zigzag. And I feel like it should go like that. So this is row number 1. We're just going to sew it all together and press to either side these seams. And then we're going to go on ahead and do row number 2. This is coming together so beautifully. I'm really enjoying it, this colorway. So now we need to do row number 2. And I know that we're going to finish this block here. So I'm going to grab 2 of the B. And I'm going to assume it's going to go like this, which finishes this. And here, I'm going to grab one of this guy. Okay. Here is how we're finishing this. These two are going to match. And we're going to do the same thing over here. And make this match. Aha. Okay. Ooh. Oh, I just got moved. Okay. Let's sew this together, then sew this together and keep it moving. So we know that this is going to be here. So let's just get ready for it. All right. So it looks pretty good. This corner right here got ate some kind of way. Everything else looks pretty good. I feel pretty good about it. Let's keep on going with row number 3. Okay, so the first block, we're going to have our number 3 fabric right here in the bottom left. This one here is going to be in the bottom right. I'm going to assume this is going to be in the bottom left. Aha. Can you see it? So then we're starting the same thing, but with this colorway. And then we need a yellow over here to be great. And I'm going to assume, aha, bottom right. So the blue is coming in from here. There we go. Beautiful, just beautiful. Sew them together. Okay, let's finish this guy up. Right here, we want this to come on and zigzag on back down. We've got our number 3, and this is row number 4. The other ones are up there. And we've got our number 3 in the top left here. Perfect. And this comes to a point, which should be pointing at this guy. We're going to grab these 2, and I'm going to assume that this is going to go like this to finish this out in the center. And that is our focal image, and it is absolutely beautiful. And then our last one is going to be another yellow one. And there we go. So these are opposites. These are together. Yes, this is so cool. What an interesting color combo. You guys did a great job picking out these colors. All right, so I think we're on number, what, 5? We are. So that right there finished, so that we know that this is going to be a tan block. There we go. That's wrong. I had it right before. We're going to do yellow again here. And we're going to flip these right around. Because we're starting another whole block, because we only have one more row to go. Which means, yay, this guy is almost finished. Okay, and that's the opposite. Let's do this row. And I knew this was finished. Like, that row was done, so then we're starting a new set. One more to go. We are going to finish this. And the way we do that is we're going to finish this box. So it's going to go like that and like that, and we're going to finish this L right here. So we're going to make sure, nope, nope, yep, make those 2 fabric number 2s match. All right, and the innards are done. This is so interesting of a color story. Love it. So the innards are all finished, and I'm loving this. I can't wait to see it finished. Now I'm going to grab all of the border pieces, and I'm going to just sew them all end to end on the straight stitch, like not crossways the way you do binding. I'm just going to sew them straight together like this. All of these. The yellow with the yellow, the stone with the stone. And then I'm going to measure the sides and cut that super long strip to the measurement, and then just sew it on. And the next time you see this quilt, we will have a fork in it and it will be done. I can't wait to see what it looks like afar on the grass where I take my pictures. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Really appreciate you guys helping me choose these fabrics. I think we did a great job together. And I look forward to viewers' choice, more viewers' choices. After this one is coming, the next 3-yard quilt that you'll see is the free pattern that's currently on Fabric Cafe's site. We chose that fabric when we chose this fabric, and we're going to zhuzh that one. We're going to give it a little something to make it special. So I will see you on the next one.